A Franklin Township man is set to report to prison tomorrow to serve a 5-year term for possession of marijuana. Well, that might not sound like news, but John Ray Wilson suffers from multiple sclerosis and says he was growing pot and using it to relieve the symptoms of MS. With the medical marijuana law now on the books, but no dispensaries open, Trenton legislators and marijuana advocates are asking Governor Christie to commute Wilson's sentence. Governor John Corzine turned down the same request when he was in office, and the Supreme Court rejected a request to hear an appeal earlier this week, so the case now seems to be closed. Joining us now from William Paterson University to discuss this case and many more issues surrounding New Jersey's highest court is Professor Michael Principe, an expert on the court and its history. Michael, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
First, let's talk about the Wilson case. Are you surprised it got this far?
Not really. I think the court sort of was handcuffed because there is no personal exemption to the criminal action against Mr. Wilson. So unless the Supreme Court wanted to be judicially active and protect and provide an extra right, there wasn't much option for the court. As far as the governor is concerned, I'm not really surprised the governor didn't take action, but it does seem having a compassionate use statute on the books for 2 years, despite the fact there's no medical marijuana program in place right now, there's an opportunity to look at this further, at least from a political angle, but the governor has chosen not to.
Let's switch gears and talk about the governor's new nominees for the High Court, Philip Kwan and Bruce Harris. What do you think about these nominees, and do you think politics comes into play when these picks are made?
Well, I think on one level the governor's to be given credit. Clearly he's diversified the Supreme Court, and in a state of as diverse as New Jersey, where we have over 40% of the population either black, Hispanic, or Asian American, you need to have a diverse court so that perspectives are considered during the deliberation process. So I think the governor gets some credit for that. On the other hand, of course, politics has some say in this, as the governor has talked about his view that the Supreme Court has become elitist, and he didn't want to have the judges or justices examining certain parts of legislation. He's basically saying that he wants to have his people on the bench. Remains to be seen whether Mayor Harris or Mr. Kwan will be political justices along the lines of what the governor wants, because they haven't been judges before, but it'll be interesting to look and see what they do. Clearly their comfort level with the governor is obvious. Mayor Harris belonged to the same firm that the last appointment by the governor to the Supreme Court, I think it's the Ritzker firm, and so there's a level of comfort that the governor will have with Mayor Harris. As well as Mr. Kwan, likewise, there's a comfort zone there with the governor in that he's worked for the Attorney General's office for quite a while. So the governor, I think, is fairly comfortable with both of these nominations, and it's likely that he's pretty certain that they'll decide cases a certain way. So,
talk about the deliberation process. Will it be intense?
I think you mean for confirming the nominations?
Yes.
I think it could be. We don't have a lot of history on these two nominees in terms of they've never been on the bench before, so we don't know exactly what their political views are, although Mayor Harris is Republican, Mr. Kwan's unaffiliated. Having said that, I think that the Senate will look at them closely, but I would anticipate they'll both probably be confirmed. You have to look to see whether they're qualified, and both, at least the comments I've read so far, is that both have good legal minds, and so I would imagine they'll be confirmed to the bench. When they get on the bench, that deliberation process in terms of when you're deciding cases will be interesting. Mr. Harris will be able to add a certain perspective, as will Mr. Kwan, that I think is necessary in the deliberation process. I think you have to have diversity in that process because you want to have people understand how different populations look at different issues. I don't think you want to have a justice necessarily represent that area or that constituency, but you certainly want to have a justice discuss their background, their experiences, so that other justices basically understand those perspectives. So I think it's valuable to add diversity to the bench, but I think in this case it's probably more likely that both of these nominees will politically have the view that Governor Christie has on issues.
We thank you for your time so much. Michael Principe.
No problem. Thank you.